Hello there, everybody. It is I, Tony, aka TTBurger Rants, and hope you all are having a great day, because I know I sure am. And welcome to another episode of TTBurger Rants. And this rant, and joining me for this rant is
Razor Blade 1812.
hello, Razorblade. And today, before I get started here, my next review will probably be uploaded this weekend. I'm just trying to take some time to like fix out a couple things with it, but that's off topic. But today we're going to be talking about a game company that me and Toby here grew up with and used to be an awesome game company that made a lot of great games, very memorable ones in the 90s, and now they have turned into shit, and they got in big trouble because of the recent game that they released a few weeks ago of this recording, and that is Electronic Arts, EA or whatever. Now,
EA Games.
challenge
Challenge
everything. Now,
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yep. And my history with Electronic Arts is a weird one. I first heard of EA through EA Sports and playing a basketball and a hockey game I got for my 7th birthday. And I know
NBA Live.
I think that's what it was. I don't remember the hockey game, but like I know like my cousins played it more and stuff. But that's how I first heard of like EA and stuff. And these
And the first time I've heard of Electronic Arts was from one of the first ever PlayStation 1 games I've owned, which is this one here, Skull Monkeys. And also from a game which I also played the demo on my very first OPM device, which was Eurodemo 0598, and which is this one, Autodestruct.
Yeah, a very cool game right there. But I think some of the most memorable Electronic Arts games that I played were pretty much on the PlayStation, like
Yeah,
Metal.
especially this game here, Future Cop L.A.P.D.
Yeah, there was also Medal of Honor, the Strike games, Soviet Nuclear Strike, Wing Commander 3 and 4. Um,
Sledstorm.
yeah, wait, did I mention Medal of Honor? Yeah, I mentioned them. And Road Rash, very cool motorcycle game, which I have not played the Road Rash 3D yet, but I plan on trying to find a copy
Well,
of
I
it.
have,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was also one of the first games I owned.
Oh,
And there were also the Need for Speed series.
yeah. Electronic Arts also were also behind the James Bond games, which is some fantastic James Bonds, like basically like Everything or Nothing and Nightfire and stuff. And they were behind a lot of great games. And EA, oh, and don't forget about Dead Space, like Dead Space 1 and 2.
SSX
Yeah,
Burnout.
or that was yeah, EA Sports Big, SSX, SSX1, SSX Tricky, and SSX3, and yeah, Burnout 1 through Paradise.
Well, except that Burnout 1 and 2 were published by Acclaim until, well, yeah, Acclaim went bankrupt and the rights to Burnout were handed over to EA.
Yeah, it's a lot of yeah.
And also you have Black, an excellent first-person shooter made
I
by,
love that game. It's fun.
yeah, it's by Criterion, the
I
same makers of Burnout.
I love that game. It's fun. I never played a first-person shooter game where you can shoot a bunch of glass windows and have so much fun with it. So much glass in that game to shoot.
Yeah, it's pretty underrated. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they also published the first two Motor Racer games on the PlayStation in collaboration with this French video game company called Delphine Software International, which they also published Fate to Black on the PlayStation as well.
Never played the Motor Racer games, but I have played Fade to Black, and it's okay. And yeah, just remembering all the stuff that EA made just makes me wonder what happened. Why did they go the route they are now? It's like EA.
Like being all greedy and stuff, and microtransactions, loot boxes, online passes, season passes, however you want to say it.
They shit hit the fan for them when the release of Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. How the game is basically a trap for kids to spend all their money on the weapons and the characters like that. It's one big gambling system, and they're really in deep shit. And they're in so much shit that Disney is planning on ending the deal with EA because they don't like seeing Star Wars games getting bad reviews and stuff. And EA did it to themselves. they did the same thing with Need for. We have actually also did Need for Speed, but the newest Need for Speed Payback, I think it's called, also went through this problem too. You gotta pay, like, you buy the cars and pay to do this, pay to that. It's like it's a disaster.
It's a full price free to play game if you ask me.
Yeah, I know.
You know these free to play games where you actually have to pay extra money to advance a little further. You know about those games that were actually mostly on mobile phones and so on.
Yeah, it's like the loot boxes and stuff are just beyond crazy. It's like I think Toby here sent me a video about how like someone made me a joke about, like, saying, pay this much to see the rest of Star Wars: A New Hope. Pay this much for that. It's like, imagine if Soviet or nuclear strike were released today, and you had to pay $50 just for each mission, just to access each mission, and like all of them together cost like about $300 or so.
It's like playing a demo.
Yeah, I mean, like that. This is the. I know. I mean, we're mentioning Battlefront 2 here a lot, but that's what Battlefront 2 was and is. Just one big demo with a gambling system in it. I mean, forget going to casinos in Las Vegas. Just waste your money on this, and just so you can be satisfied. And us being gamers, we shouldn't have to do that. And thank God I did not get sucked in buying Battlefront 2. Thank God I did not get sucked in and got Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter, which I actually recently beat and stuff. And even though it was short and stuff, and I'm taking a little break from playing it, it was still well worth the money than playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 and stuff like that. I mean, even that plot, like the campaign mode, is only 3 hours long. It's definitely not even worth it at all. I mean, why bother playing? People were buying it for the story and stuff, and they all got screwed over. I mean, I remember going into the GameStop I saw that there was like tons of people buying Star Wars or Battlefront 2. And I think to myself, you guys are gonna be mad when you get screwed over and such. And I honestly can't blame them for being upset and stuff, because they really dropped the ball there. I mean, I don't know much about Need for Speed Payback and what it's doing, so do you mind explaining about what Need for Speed Payback is doing with, like, the loot boxes and stuff?
I haven't really seen any gameplay footage of it, and to be honest, though, I didn't buy the game.
I haven't bought I think the last Need for Speed game I ever got was probably Hot Pursuit 2, because
the last Need for Speed game that I got was Need for Speed Carbon, except that I didn't really play it all that much. And yes, I even played Need for Speed Undercover, which I only played for a very little bit before I just left, because I knew that Need for Speed was getting more boring and pretty much Fast and Furious sort of.
I don't know what Need for Speed Payback did, but I am guessing that it probably, you have to like pay money to buy a bunch of cars and a bunch of the maps to race on and stuff, and I'm sure that's what they're doing. I know EA got shit for that, because like Need for Speed Payback got a 5 out of 10 on GameSpot.com, and Battlefront 2 got a 6 out of 10 on GameSpot.com as well. So as you can see here, that the critics and the reviewers are ignoring the loot boxes thing because they're paid, because they're being paid, not to mention the loot boxes or anything like that. But any true gamer can see that this is bad. Even look at the score on Metacritic right now. It got a 0.4 out of 10 for the user score, when it's like the second lowest score in the history of gaming on Metacritic. And wow, and like just seeing like all these rants on EA and stuff, it's like it shows that the EA is in hot water because of what they did. But do they care? No, they don't care. In fact, here's the thing. I bet you EA doesn't even play test the games they make. I bet you they make them and they think they're done, so they just ship them out and saying, well, I don't think we need to play it. I think it's perfectly the way it was. We'll ship it out and for all the kids to buy for $60 and stuff. And I bet you don't have to be a rocket scientist to believe that they don't play test their games.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't play. I bet
they just rush these games out the door.
I bet you that's what they do. I mean, look at Battlefront 2015. They had they, they only made that. I heard they had about 3 months to make the game, and they released it, and it's so light on content. And I remember getting it for Christmas, and I pretty much was so bored with it. I went back and played Star Wars Battlefront Classic 2005, Battlefront 2 2005. I mean. And I was like, I played that on Christmas because I was so bored with it. Like, even playing as the hero characters was so boring. It's like, it's just, like, and I heard playing as the heroes here, it's like, it's really jerky animation and stuff that just not fun in Battlefront 2 2017. And, like, this is the thing. Here's the thing. EA knows that EA know, I'm sure EA knows their games suck, but they know kids and stuff will buy them, so they just release them in that state hoping they'll make money. And you know what the truth is? I bet you EA will probably get shut down for this. I hope they get
filing for bankruptcy.
If this doesn't put them out of business, I will be shocked because can you expect anybody buying any more EA games after this? I mean, the EA Sport games are already. I mean, with the EA Sport games, not a lot of people are buying those anymore. In fact, I can't believe I didn't mention the EA Sport games yet, which we'll talk about a little later. But like no.
Yeah, especially with the exclusive licenses, which we'll be also mentioning much later on.
Yeah, and you think anybody's gonna buy? Do you think if the Strike series made a 2017 or 2018 reboot game, you think anyone's gonna buy it? No, because they're probably gonna have the loot box and stuff. And you think anyone's gonna buy Medal of Honor is pretty much dead, so that's not gonna happen. But can you imagine if they made a new Wing Commander game? Can you imagine what they do with the loot box stuff? Because I can imagine having Wing Commander 3 have a remake, and they charge you for all the weapons and all the ships to buy and stuff and for the romance scene between Flint and Rachel and stuff, to choose between Flint and Rachel and stuff. I can imagine.
Or even make a new Ultimate game, which of course would be Ultimate 10. I mean, can you imagine if there would be a new Ultimate game being made after Ultima 9? I mean, that would make Ultima 9 look like a masterpiece. I mean, let's put it this way. Ultima 10 would probably have loot boxes and microtransactions and all that stuff. Can you imagine that?
Oh, believe me, I can't. But I can imagine them remaking the original Medal of Honor and charging DLC for each level and like briefings and stuff like that. That's how bad it could get. Or if they did that to Medal of Honor Frontline, where like they charge you for English subtitles and stuff. I mean, because I know off topic here, Mega Dimension Trivia V2 charged you 50 cents to get for the Japanese audio, but that was only 50 cents, and I was okay with that, so I didn't really care. That was only 50 cents, but still, EA is like, will charge you for so high of prices that it's ludicrous.
Yeah, it's corporate greed.
It's corporate greed. It's like the people who all these people, all these kids and stuff who are buying Battlefront 2 and the EA games. EA doesn't care how much you complain. EA does not care how much you complain. All they care about, if you're buying the game and you're giving them money, that's all they care about. They could care less. I mean, there's petitions going on change.org and stuff for Disney to end its deal with EA, which I hope it does.
I think should actually happen.
It should happen, but do you think it's even?
And there will probably be even a lawsuit against EA being filed.
Yeah, because EA will probably get taken to court and they'll go out of business stuff. I mean, they'll probably blame modern gamers like that, but the only people who are to blame is them. They're the ones who decided to pull this stunt because they were probably losing business and stuff, and they wanted to make money. But it's like what happens when a bar or so is losing business. They'll start charging the price. They'll start increasing the prices for the beers and stuff, and because they're losing money and such, to try and save the business, keep it going a little longer before it dies out. That's just what it's like. It's like a bar that's started to change the prices on their drinks and stuff. That's pretty much what EA is doing. It's like Can you imagine if they had to raise the prices on their games if they don't do so well because of this? Can you imagine if they did that?
That would be pretty awful.
Yeah, you could say that again. If people say Activision is bad and like that, I don't know any much about what Activision did. I don't know if Activision does any loot boxes or anything like that. But if they didn't, then I can say that Activision is not the worst company ever. They may be greedy as like EA, but at least they're not pulling any of these loot boxes and stuff. But they still charge you extra money like crazy for like games and stuff. But yeah, that's just on topic. But
yeah, and you know what I found interesting in a video is that Trip Hawkins, the original founder of EA, even admitted that EA isn't as good as what his original EA was.
Is he still around, the founder, or I mean, like, is he still a part of the company or no?
Well, he actually left EA in the mid-90s, I think. Well, that's from a video I've heard.
If he was still around, if he was still a part of EA, I don't think any of this would be happening. I mean, he's probably, I mean, like, the founder of EA is even ashamed of what his company's become, and that's sad. But now let's talk about the EA Sport games. We gotta talk about the EA Sport games, because EA Sports, I haven't played a sport game for them ever since Madden, ever since, I think it was, like, NBA, no, it was ever since Madden 09.
And I haven't even played an EA Sports game since, well, NHL 09 and FIFA 09, I think. Well, I've only played the demo of FIFA 09. I really didn't play the full game. But, yeah, you could see that even the EA Sports games are losing its steam pretty much. I mean, remember all those EA Sports games from, like, the 90s and, like, the early to mid-2000s? I mean, they were actually pretty cool. They were actually something.
Yeah.
They actually even had some unlockable things and some hidden stuff in it. I mean, Madden 2000 actually had some secret teams that were actually fun to have. If you can even input a cheat code or, accomplish a certain task, that was pretty awesome. Even NHL 2002 and 2003 had this NHL cards thing, and where you actually, well, it's actually not like with those loot boxes, but then again, if you actually get some cards you can actually obtain cards to unlock cheats, which was pretty awesome.
I agree. And don't forget the fact that, like, I first got into, like, the EA Sport games entirely when I played Madden 2002. I loved that game. That was one of the first GameCube games I ever got, and I enjoyed it because, like, a lot of my memory, because, like, it was fun because, like, here's the thing, when the sport games were relevant back then, it was fun having friends over, like, playing football and stuff like that. I mean, like, the first time I ever played a full game with a friend, I was Eliza and he was the all Madden team, and he beat me 21-0 because I did not know what to do in the game. But then as like I got better and better as time went on. But it's like, in Madden 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006 were awesome. But then 2007 was okay, but then, like, 2008 is when things started going way downhill to the point where, like, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. It's like you get tired of it. And, like, the NBA, like NBA and NHL and stuff, like, all those sport games used to be so much fun, like, because they were like party games for parties and having friends over and stuff. But you don't even see that.
Yeah, and having also some pretty cool stuff, like I mentioned, like hidden teams and funny players, and of course, like quirky venues and so on. That was the best part.
And also, Madden retired from commentary. Why is his name still on the games? He retired.
Because the Madden brand is so well recognized.
But yeah, there's no Madden in the game, so that's stupid. Like I say, they should just at least end the Madden series, but they won't. I mean, FIFA is like, I never only FIFA game I ever played was FIFA 2003, and it was just okay, but it's just.
I've played a ton of FIFA games. Well, then again, I am from Europe after all, and I've played a ton of FIFA games. I've played FIFA 6, which was nice, but not nearly as good as PES was. I even played like I played FIFA 2002 on the PS1, and I still play FIFA 7, FIFA 08, except that FIFA 08 was the PlayStation 2 and PC version. I mean, that was pretty much just the same as FIFA 07, and it was recycled. I mean,
Well, yeah, like I can understand why you could play FIFA a lot because you're from Europe and football there. Well, European football or soccer they're called.
But I did play a Madden game before in my childhood, and it was of course Madden NFL 2000, which I played in night 2000. Except that I have to admit though that I really didn't like the game because I just couldn't understand the game of football, to be honest.
I think everyone who played their first Madden game will not like it because they didn't understand how to play it. And I'll admit that's how I kind of was at first with 2002. But I got better as time went on, and I enjoyed it a lot. So
and even watching some NFL games on TV or watching some football games in real life, you'll probably understand a little more better.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that nowadays the football games have this stupid ass weapon system or these it's slightly, and notice that the graphics get worse and worse after every release these days because it just shows that they just don't care. I mean, here's some hilarious I gotta say. I remember I don't remember which Madden game it is. I think it was Madden 2011, 2012 when they started showing the commentators' faces and stuff. People were like, "Oh look, you can see the commentators' faces finally," and then myself. Really? You're gushing that you can see the commentator, you can see the announcers' faces. Wow, why don't you go watch an actual football game then if you want that so much? That's stupid, that's a stupid thing to be all hyped up about. It's ridiculous. So much ridiculous. And I don't understand that, why you get so hyped up for that. It's stupid. And of course, thinking back at how the sport games were the sport games used to be so much fun. But nowadays, who's inviting people over to play sport games? Nobody.
Teenagers.
Then again, the teenagers aren't even doing it. Teenagers probably find friends over to play Call of Duty or something like that nowadays, or a first-person shooter. They don't fight people.
Except that there's still a lot of people in Germany here, especially of course, a lot of Arab, Turkish-born teens who always play FIFA all the time. That's what they do.
But you live in, but this is the United States, so it's different here in the United States. But it's just I don't know. I mean, EA itself is just gotten really, really downhill. I mean, we've been talking about EA Sports for the last several minutes here and stuff, but EA Sports had to be worth mentioning and stuff. And I should also mention that.
Oh yeah, and I also want to mention about the exclusivity deals that EA is very, very infamous for. Well, the one thing I would like to know is that EA also owns the exclusive Bundesliga license since 1998, from what I read, and this actually kind of kept companies like Konami and Sega away from acquiring Bundesliga licenses, with the exception of a couple teams, which is like how it was even with the PES series when Pro Evolution Soccer 6 or PES 6 actually removed the German league entirely. But they did acquire the license for Bayern Munich and also later on for a couple other Bundesliga teams, and that's another thing. Yeah, even Football Manager, even Sega couldn't even, that's why the Football Manager games are, of course, region locked in Germany because of the fact that Sega couldn't get Bundesliga and so on.
I never heard of.
Well, that's only the Germans hear about. But what you hear about mostly, though, is the exclusivity of the NFL license. Ever since EA became so furious about you still remember ESPN NFL 2K5, right?
Who doesn't? Those games were awesome. I loved the 2K games. I mean, because things that compared to EA, so I played a lot of sport games back then, but 2K, I did this was back in 2000, in a few years after I started getting into Madden and like that. So yeah, I just want to say that. And here's
the gist. When ESPN NFL 2K5 was doing so damn well because of its low price tag of $20, despite being, a quality title, which it surely was, EA became so furious that even EA tried to sell Madden 2005 for a lower price, and it didn't work because ESPN NFL 2K5 was outselling Madden so much that it got EA angry. so angry, in fact, that they actually stepped in and bought the exclusive NFL license, pretty much ending competition forever.
That was terrible. Just because they weren't doing so well. I mean, you ever heard of criticism? No, they probably obviously haven't. But like, I remember playing the game named ESPN Football, where it was a first-person football game. That was badass right there. That was badass. It was the first and the only first person football game. And don't even get me started on the head coach games. You remember head EA Sports' head coach?
I've only heard of it, but I've never played it. But I
Oh
really did.
my lord, you are lucky you missed out. Head coach, you know what you are? You're the coach, commanding the team on what to do.
It's more of a soccer management game that you have over in Europe.
No, it's more. It's
Yeah,
kind of
even
like a
EA.
strategy. It's kind of like a strategy game a little bit because you're telling the team what to do.
Hmm.
It's like, I mean, like it in when it in production it seemed very cool, but like it's not fun being the coach. It's cooler on paper than it actually is.
And what I found also interesting is that NFL head coach was only released in America.
Then you're lucky you didn't play it. Then you're lucky.
I still heard of it though at the time when it came out, except that it wasn't released over in Europe, unlike the initial Madden games, which were.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a shame of what this company has become. Like I said a million times. 'Cause, like remembering all the good games they made, how much fun it was to play those games, and now they turn into microtransaction loot boxes, crazed greedy assholes that nobody that are losing popularity very very quickly. They may not be losing it immediately, but it's gonna come back and bite them in the ass. I bet you, like, their fan base will be decreasing very slowly but rapidly at the same time. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to.
Especially for the fact that EA has already been nominated as Worst Company in America in 2012 and 2013, respectively.
Yeah, I know. Especially after the shit they pulled with a Dead Space 3 got rid of all the horror feel and made it a third-person shooter with
And with the terrible Mass Effect 3 ending.
Well, to be honest with you, Mass Effect 3 compared to Mass Effect Andromeda, they fixed. Well, here's the thing: Mass Effect 3, BioWare fixed up the ending, so Mass Effect 3 is off the hook. But still, EA rushed that ending out the door like that. But at least BioWare fixed it and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, of course, like I don't know if EA were behind Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm not sure if they were behind.
No, it was BioWare.
Well, yeah. Well, then never mind. Then
Because BioWare created the Mass Effect series even before they were bought up by EA. Oh yeah, which I also want to mention that BioWare also was in the same company that also Pandemic was part of, and EA actually bought the company that owned both BioWare and Pandemic. And you know what happened to Pandemic? The creators behind Mercenaries and Star Wars Battlefront, the original games, they actually got killed off. Oh yeah, we also want to mention about EA killing off many studios. Like, you already saw that Bullfrog got killed off, Westwood got killed off, Visceral Games got killed off recently, and then there was Oddworld Inhabitants with Oddworld Strangers Wrath that got nearly killed off. Except that most people don't really know about this, but then fans of the Outworld series do kind of know about. And then, of course, Mythic Entertainment got killed off, Popcat got pulled off, and Criterion kind of got killed off.
See what I mean? This is how bad it is, people. I mean, it's not going to take long for EA to kill off BioWare. Watch them try and kill off Namco or Capcom, or actually buy out Activision and stuff. Can you imagine them buy out Activision?
Oh yeah, that's another thing that EA also wanted to buy out Ubisoft, but that didn't happen. And even EA wanted to buy out Take-Two Interactive, the parent companies of Rockstar Games and 2K, for $2 million. Except that it didn't even happen.
Yep. See, that's how greedy they are. They want to be the only video game company out there. You know they want to be the only video game company out there, and they're trying to ruin other companies.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, it truly is.
And I cannot believe that they won't get away with it for long. They won't get away with it that long. Mark my word, Toby. They won't get away with it forever. It'll come back and bite them in the ass, and then when they go bankrupt, they'll try and pull another move, and it won't work because they'll be the most hated video game company out there. But you know what worries me? This is what really worries me. They're going to try and buy out NIS America or Gus Interactive or Compile Heart.
Marvelous.
Or Marvelous as well. Can you imagine if they tried to pull that stuff? Can you imagine what would happen to Hyperdimension Neptunia in the Atelier game? Can you imagine what
They'll be more kid friendly.
Yeah, or that. They'll probably get rid of the Japanese voice acting in all of them too, and they'll probably just they'll turn Neptunia, they'll turn Neptune to a dumbass mass ditzy character to the most intelligent girl on there to change her personality, and they'll make Nepgear the dumbass and she's younger, and
more like a spoiled princess or something. Spoiled evil princess.
And they'll probably turn the main antagonist of Neptunia, R4. They'll turn her and they'll change her design and turn her into someone who tries to crack unfunny jokes and stuff. When although R4 is a dumb
making it look like a dumb Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, and can you imagine if they tried to buy the rights to Sega? Imagine what they would do to stop the Hedgehog, which is already corrupt as it is. Or they tried to take over Hatsune Miku and stuff.
EA would just rule the world.
Yeah. Another bad thing in this collapsing economy and job market would be EA taking over the entire game industry.
Or EA expanding into other markets and try to take them over as well. Of course, going to own the exclusive NHL license, which they actually never did, which is, thank God they didn't own the exclusive NHL license, because if that happens, they'll be hockey gamers will be screwed. Except that there's only the NHL series from EA that we get, but thank God that they didn't own the NHL license, or there's still some hope for some competition, kind of.
Yeah, I know, but still. The thing is, Toby, is that it's they won't last forever. They'll probably die off in a few years, and if they're still alive 10 years from now, I will be shocked if they're still around. I mean, hell, I have more support for Activision than they do for EA at the moment. And I cannot believe I'm saying it, because what Call of Duty has become and stuff like that. I just and what they did to Guitar Hero and Rock Band and stuff. I have more respect for Activision than I do for EA any day at the moment.
Yeah.
But you got anything else to say?
I have absolutely nothing much more to say.
I don't have anything else here. I think we ended this on a perfect note. That's pretty much all we gotta say. And just to let you all know, the next review will be coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. It's a two-part. It'll be a two-part video. So be on the lookout for that, because the next I'll give you all a hint. It's gonna be the very first PlayStation game I ever played, and it started my love for the console. And that's the only hint you're getting. That's pretty much all I'm gonna say. This is Tony, aka TTBurger Rants, and Razor1812. Peace and out. Have a great day, and don't support EA. Go play better games than this. Take it from us. Play better games. Right, Toby?
Yep.
Right. That's what it's all. Peace out, everybody.